Okay, so the subject today is number 7. Why dafka number 7? We'll see that number 7, it's very common in the Torah, and we'll see that it's also very common in Jewish religion. The number 7 appear many times in the Torah, appear many times in Jewish festivals, we'll see. And generally, number 7, it's a very active number in a Jewish religion. So let's start like this. To understand number 7, I'm going to start what our sages say. That's Chachmei Kabbalah. Chachmei Kabbalah, it's our sages that teach us the Kabbalah. So they say that number 7 represents something that is spiritual. Okay, we have to understand what they mean. And from the other way, number 6 represents something that exactly the opposite to the spiritual. It's the physical. So the Chachmei Kabbalah tell us that number 7, if that represents the spiritual, it's representing the neshama. And number 6, that representing the physicality, it's representing the body. Okay. We have to accept that. We have to move on to understand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a command in the Holy Torah, Sheshet Yamim Ta'avdu. That means for 6 days, we are obligated to work. We're not obligated, we can work if we want. But, Ubayom HaShve'i, Shavat Ve'inafash. That means on a 7th day, on a Sabbath day, that's the 7th day, we are obligated to stop working. We're not allowed to work. This makes strange. We have to understand that. You know, the Torah tells us that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands us. We accept it, but we have to understand. Our sages tell us something very interesting. If we look carefully, HaKadosh Baruch Hu that created the world, he can create everything. There's no problem for him to create the world in 1 day. Why did he create the world in 6 days? And on a 7th day, he stopped working. It's come to teach us something very interesting here. It's come to tell us that when you look at the number 7, it represents something very spiritual. That it's talk about spiritual. Number 6, it's physical. So we have to understand what he's talking about, what Hazal talking about. Hazal tell us that for 6 days, that everything that represents 6 represent something physical. For example, if we take number 6, what does number 6 represent? Up, down, front, back. How many we have? 4, nachon? 2 side, 6, nachon? Where is number 7? In the middle. It's above, it's not there. That means that everything that's 6 in this world is exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't understand, stop me. That everything in this world that comes to physicality revolves around 6. Number 7 is above, it's not exist, it's above something. So it belongs to the spiritual. Spiritual is Shabbat. Not only that, the Maharal, everyone obviously heard about the Maharal. The Maharal was one of the highest or the biggest Mekubalim that we have. And he explained like this, what it means Shabbat. We say Shabbat, not to work. Why not to work on Shabbat? Why a Jewish person not allowed to work on Shabbat? When we say not allowed to work, I'm referring to Jewish people. Why? Sorry? I can't hear, speak loud.
You're supposed to rest and study Torah.
Okay. Hashem said so. Okay. Commandment. Hashem said so. Yeah. But we have to understand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us. Rabotai, we have to understand, in Jewish religion, we say Naaseh v'nishma. First, we'll do. But nishma, what is nishma? We have to also understand why not. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands us to do a mitzvah, we're obligated to do it first. We're not allowed to doubt, but you're allowed to search why we have to do that mitzvah. So the Maharal said the source of the brocha comes from where? From Shabbat. That means all the source for the 6th day of working come from where? From your Shabbos. How do you treat your Shabbos? If you want to know how your week going to look, Hazal say, look at your Shabbos. That's how your week going to look. If you're anxious on Shabbos, all your week going to be in stress. If you relax on Shabbos, your week going to go straight. If you are walking into Shabbos, and the last minute, you always quite often you find those people just 2 minutes before Shabbos, you see them driving home. I don't know how they make it, just before Shabbos, they walk to shul, or just during the tefillah. But they walk home just before. No. We have to accept Shabbos before. To understand that Shabbos is the source of the bracha, the Maharal say. What it means, the source of bracha? We say it, Rabbi Shlomo Al-Kabetz wrote for us, Lecha Dodi. And if you look at Lecha Dodi, he says, Ki hi mekor bracha. That's the source of the bracha, what? Shabbat. I wanna, if we look at it, it doesn't make sense. A person that works 7 days a week, he works extra day. Nachon? So if I'm earning certain amount of money, if I work 6 days, on a 7th day, I should earn more. It doesn't make sense. Nachon? So if you look at it like this, you're right. Yes. A person that works 7 days a week earn more. But Hazal tell us, a Jewish person that works on Shabbat, they didn't say that he doesn't earn more. Listen to the word, what they say. They say, Ki hi mekor bracha, ha-bracha. What it mean bracha? The blessing. Now we're going to understand what the Maharal tried to say. The Maharal tell us that a person that works 6 days, on a 7th day he stop. Yes, he does earn less. But he have more bracha than a person that work on a 7th day that earn more. Why? Hazal explained it like that, include the Maharal. Many of our sages explain that if you work 7 days a week, it looks like you're earning more. But Haz v'shalom, we don't want that, but suddenly we see that the washing machine gone. I don't want to say many other things that can go wrong. So yes, you earn more, but you don't have a bracha on your money. The bracha that you have, everything that you have, where does it come? From number 7. That's Shabbat. That's spirituality. That's what we can understand. Many people tell you, you know, if I'm going to close my business on Shabbos, that's the main turnover during the weekend. But if the Torah tells us that the bracha comes from Shabbat, that you don't work, you're maybe going to earn more. But the business that working on Shabbat, whatever machine that work, God forbid that that's gone. So all what you earn all of this time, gone in one shot, if not more. I'm listening.
I understand and I agree with you, but if you look around, the people who are Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Mitzvot, that are battling, and the guys, and everything goes wrong, and there are guys who work on Shabbos and nothing goes wrong. So I mean, I don't understand. What's the story?
You don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Very good.
If I'm not going to work on Shabbos, yes, I agree with you, but the fact is, there are people that work on Shabbos because they have to. And the extra money that they bring in, yes, they need it. And the guys that don't work on Shabbos, and they're battling their masters off.
Okay, so I tell you, number one, we have to understand, very good question, they're battling. You're listening what you say, they're battling. And those that work on Shabbat, they're not battling?
Well, some not.
Some not.
But
Okay.
their priorities are
Okay, wait. Sorry, talk. I didn't want to say other things. There's many people that look healthy or wealthy with W, and then the H for health going down. Whatever come on Shabbos have to go out. There is no bracha for it. If our sages tell us, that's number one. But you ask a very valid question. Your question is, Russell, how come that you see wicked people? That's what you're saying to me. Nachon? That's the question. And they do everything wrong, but in the meantime, they're flourishing. Nachon?
But never mind money-wise, they're flourishing
What do you,
All
which
right.
mizmor?
They live to the age of 90, etc., etc.
That's a different issue, I'll touch that. But what did David HaMelech say? We say on Shabbat, mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat. Nachon? What did he say there? Bifroch reshaim kemo esev. That means that the wicked people will grow up like weeds. Wheat doesn't last for a long time, am I right? Wherever you see, you go see weeds growing. You don't have to plant it. You don't have to fertilize it. But it also doesn't long for the last time. It's come to teach us something very important. Before reshaim kemo esev. The same like they grow up quick, they disappear quick. But people, that they are the nation, take a roses. It's a very delicate flower. If you're not going to treat it well, it's not going to survive. You agree with me? Nachon? But it's come to tell you, you want to see the source for that rose. How do you get the source for it? When you fertilize it, when you water it, when you look after it, you can enjoy it. Weeds grow up quick. Wherever you go, you see weeds. You don't need to plant them. You don't need to look after them. And you know why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu want to pay them here in this world. But for the world to come, they're already dry. There is nothing for them. So if you're talking about those that Rasha v'tovlo, Tzaddik v'ra'lo, that's what you're saying, that's the answer. Now, Iyov, you remember Iyov? There's a book of Iyov. Iyov was a tzaddik. But in his previous life, you know who he was. The Ramah Mipan say in Sefer HaGilgulim, and also the Ari HaKadosh, Iyov was Terach. Terach was the father of Avraham. What is Terach used to do? Sorry? Rabotai, he used to be the China of today. He was the wholesaler for idols. So in a previous life, before he became Terach, he was idol worshipper. When he came to this world, second time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we don't know Sodot Shamayim. You see a person that happy, he looks like happy, and I can tell you many of those come and speak to me quite often. They have so much sorrows. On the outside they look very happy. Inside they're empty. Money doesn't give them nothing. You take a person that's battling. I'm going back to your question. And he keeps Shabbat. Believe me, he's more happy than them. He's battling because that's Heshbonot Shamayim. We don't know why HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't give him. But if you look, how often he has to change his washing machine? How often he has to change his car? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not necessary because the car gone wrong. Because he's not happy. Because Chaim Yankel drive now a new Merc. S500, S600, whatever you want to call it. And I'm driving still 2014, you're already driving 2015. He's not happy. It's not necessary that the person have the happiness, okay, with what he has. Whatever you have is not enough. But that person, if you look, he maybe doesn't earn a lot, but he have a brocha. He doesn't have to buy every second day a new washing machine, a new cell phone, a new TV.
He has to buy food. Some of them can't even buy food.
That's, I told you, that's a different issue. We don't know Heshbonot Shamayim. Talk about the average.
But that's
No, but you taking, but what you're doing
I'm
now,
not talking about someone who's
you
got
taking-
cars. I'm looking at someone who can't pay school fees, can't buy food for
how many of them you know? Let's start with that. They're very few. I want to tell you that they're very few.
No, I'm not saying, even in this
Sorry?
No, there's not.
So I tell you what. You think that I'm wrong? Those people, how often they go on holiday? That they tell you that they can't pay school fees. Did you check? You know, when it's come to education, I'm not saying a person shouldn't go on holiday. He's entitled to go on holiday. He's obligated to go on holiday to rest. But if you want your kids to get the highest education, unfortunately in South Africa you have to pay. So that's in South Africa. When you go to Israel, you don't have to pay for education as much. You have to pay other things. but you have to weigh it. So you can't tell me that there is so many that can afford. Because in December, South Africa, especially Johannesburg, that I see, where's everyone gone? Excuse me. And look at some people, I don't want to say they go for a week. Some people disappear for a month. You want to tell me that they're battling? I'm sorry. You agree with that? If you go for a month, you must have some money. But why you don't pay the school fees? It's a different issue, you know. So for some people,
I'm talking in this country. I'm talking even in Eretz Israel. I talked to my sister. She said there are people there, from people, Shomer Shabbat. They try to make a living. They can't get. She has to give them, and they give them all the leftovers food because they can't eat food.
So that's, I told you, that's Heshbonot Shamayim. There is certain thing, one second, Moti. There is certain thing we must understand. When we talk about poverty, that's Heshbonot Shamayim. There is Sinorot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu have 3 keys. 3 keys. Remember that. What it means, 3 keys? The Parnasa. You know what it means, Parnasa? Geld. Okay. Yeluda. That means life. Okay? And then you have a key for Tchiyat HaMetim, the resurrection of the dead. Those 3 keys belong to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have a mitzvah to respect a rich man. You know that? Why? Because he's rich, you must respect him? Our sages tell us yes. You know why? Because he have a direct channel from HaKadosh Baruch Hu of wealth. You're not allowed to go down, to bow down to him, you know, to kiss. No. You're allowed to respect him, to show him a bit of kavod. Not more than that. When it's come to people in poverty, there's a problem here. That's direct with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the source of the bracha, the major bracha that you get from Shabbat, no one can dispute that. People that work on Shabbat, quite often you speak to them. They maybe make a lot of money, but at the end of days, you see that this money disappeared. They didn't have a bracha with this money. Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to say. You've gone completely, you took a different line.
You're saying it's almost every person who works who does it. I don't think it's every person. Yes, there will be some.
Plenty.
People that work that are happy with life, and they're happy. I know guys that work, they come, they daven every morning, they even daven on Shabbos. They go to shul early and then they go to work.
No. So you say that they have a bracha. How often did you check that you know that they're changing washing machine? How often they're changing that they have problem at home? I just specially mention washing machine because I don't want to go to heavy stuff. How often he go to the doctor and spend a higher bill? And how often those people that work on Shabbat doesn't see the doctor? We don't see it in our eyes because we don't know. We don't live in their house. But if you live in their house, you'll see that he spend more time, has v'shalom, at the doctor. I don't want to open, you know.
I think we have opened it.
Do you understand? I don't want to talk about betting, but we have to understand that the source of the bracha is Shabbat. And the main reason that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created...
If you don't keep Shabbat, you're not happy. Is that what you're saying?
Did I say that? I say about happy. I say source of bracha.
So therefore, if you don't keep Shabbos, you can't have bracha.
But bracha is not necessarily happy.
Okay, but I mean, you can't have a bracha if you don't keep Shabbos.
With the money, no. I think that the money that you earn on Shabbat, you don't see any bracha. That's what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying?
And if you don't work but you don't keep Shabbos, what's the difference?
So you get also knocked out. And I tell you why. Sorry? Yeah, Joe want to say sorry.
You know, talk about adding more, you work 7 days and then the rest was 6 days. You take a barrel of whiskey, a 50-litre barrel of whiskey, knock a tap into the barrel. You open the tap, you'll get 50 litres out of it. You knock in the same barrel, you knock in 2 taps, you'll still get 50 litres out of it. If you knock 6 taps into it, you'll get 50 litres out. If you knock 7 litres, you'll still get your 50 litres. So there's no extra. You think you're earning more, but there's no extra. You're not earning extra. It seems like it.
You understand the analogy that he gave you?
What Hashem has given you, is what is yours, whether you work 6 days or 7 days. There's no question. And sometimes I used to argue with my lady and say, rich, as you said, the rich people, the wicked, have got so much and they've got more. And how come that they're rich and the tzaddikim are poor? And I like how Harvard Money used to say, Hashem gives money to such people that sometimes embarrassed to take it back. The wicked people don't know how to handle the riches that He's given them, and Hashem is embarrassed to take it back.
I agree. What I'm saying to you is, if I don't keep Shabbos, am I person on God, or someone doesn't keep Shabbos?
Sorry, say again? A person that doesn't keep Shabbat?
No bracha whatsoever.
What do you think? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us not to work on Shabbat, you know what, please God, next week, I don't want to, we took quite a bit of time from the show, I'll speak about, maybe I should bring Shabbat. I'm going to go into Shabbat. I didn't want to go to it, it's just that it came to number 7, but we spoke. I'll speak about it. Let me just continue. David asked me. Yes, David?
What happens if you've got a type of a business where the market, the busyness of that business...
I will answer it briefly.
Is reliant on a Saturday and a Sunday, and it doesn't
No problem.
exist during the week.
I know.
What then?
I tell you, I'm going to give you a simple, short answer. Very simple. This shopping center, if you don't work on Shabbos, give you a lot of trouble. What do? You buy a partner. Do we have a partner, a goy partner, that he can be your partner?
Shabbos goy.
Whatever. There's no such thing as Shabbos goy, by the way. Whatever you earn, the profit, go to him. After you deduct the rent, after you deduct your material, whatever, you know what I'm saying, the rent, whatever, okay, the profit go to him. I just cut it shortly. Let's move on, Rabota, the time is short. I didn't come to speak about Shabbat. I wanted to speak about the number 7. Please, if everyone going to talk, then we're going to miss the show.
Short question. You said that one must respect a person who's wealthy. But if that person who's very wealthy treats other people worse than dogs, what is the situation there?
He's not wealthy.
I don't have to tell you. You think that he's wealthy?
He's not wealthy.
Okay. He's maybe a cuckoo. Okay, the number 7.
God is saying about Shabbat, not to work. It's in Israel. Shabbat, no one working is no business in Shabbat. So he says about it, there's no business on Shabbat in the weekend. Yeah, in South Africa. Not in Israel. In Israel, everybody is closing. So everybody have to close the business.
No, but מה הקשר? What, we don't have Shabbat? We don't have Shabbat in חוץ לארץ?
מחוץ לארץ אתה לא צריך לעבוד, אתה לא חייב לעבוד.
I don't know. You know what? We'll speak about it later. We'll speak about Shabbat. You know, we change. Russell, you took Shabbat. We'll speak about it. Okay. Okay. Shukra, everyone. If we take, let's carry on with number 7, because I didn't finish a half of the shiur yet. We just finished, maybe, if we done 10%, is good. Number 7 in the Torah, where is it mentioned? If we take the first pasuk in Sefer Bereshit, the first pasuk, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Okay, look at that pasuk. How many? 7 words. Nachon? Let's move on. The Yom HaShabbat, the 7th day, is Shabbat. 7 days, nachon? Shnat HaShmita. When is Shnat HaShmita? Every 7 years, nachon? Again. 6 שנים תעבוד, בשנה השביעית. That's it. You must rest. You let the ground rest. שנת היובל, the Yovel year, after 7 years of Shemitah. That means, if you multiply it, 49 years on the 50th years, Yovel. Shemitah, sorry Simon. Shemitah, every 7 years, you have to allow the land, you leave the land, you don't touch it, you don't work on it, you not fertilize it, you leave it to rest. Okay? That's called the Shemitah. Then let's move on. Hag HaShavuot. When is Hag HaShavuot come?
7th month.
7 שבועות תספור לך. מאחל חרמש בקמה, נכון? After 7 weeks, okay, that you count, On the 50th day, you receive what? The Torah. Again, spiritual. We see that so far everything comes to spiritual. Pesach. The festival of Pesach. 7 days, נכון? In the Galut, we have 8. Russell love it. Russell love to. Sukkot, 7 days, נכון? Hatan v'Kala, 7 days. Sheva brachot that you do for the Hatan and Kala, again 7, נכון? That's right. Lehavdil, when a person sits Shiva,
7 days.
again 7, okay? You remember when the Jewish people wanted to conquer Jericho, the city of Jericho,
7 times around.
how many times?
7.
7. What 7 times? We have to explain. Every day they surround the city, they walk around the wall 1 time. On the 7 days, the wall collapsed. Nachon? Okay, let's move on. Shimshon. Remember Samson? Samson was a strong man. Samson had 7 plait of hair. Nachon? What given them the string? Now you understand. Again, number 7, where's the spirituality come? The menorah and Bet HaMikdash. 7. They have 3 and 3 and the middle arm. You remember? 7 arms. Our physicality words. We have 7 heaven. Nachon? 7 continent. You agree with me? Just remember how many number 7. Okay, let's move on to something very interesting. The 7 notes of the music. Nachon? Again, everything's 7. Let's go to the body. And with that I'm going to conclude because we don't have enough time because I'm watching the time. Okay, we still have basically 4 minutes. I'm trying to be exactly to half an hour.
7 minutes.
Okay, the body. If we look at our body, we have 2 arms. Everyone with me?
2 legs.
2 legs. 4. Nachon? Do you agree with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. We have a head. How many we have?
5.
5. The body. 6. Nachon? What else? Brit Kodesh. 7. Brit Kodesh. What is the Brit Kodesh? Brit Kodesh is where we're having the Brit. So we call it Brit Kodesh. The bris. We call it Brit Kodesh, okay?
If you're female,
It's the same, you know. Okay, let's move on the body. We have 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears,
1 mouth.
and a mouth. How many?
7.
7. So now let's stop here before we move on because we don't have enough time. So number 7 obviously has to mean something. Not for nothing we look at it. Please God, next week I wanted to do with you a bit of a quiz from the Bible with number 7. That means the multiplied of a 7. If you want, I'll do it to you quick. Something very interesting. We have to understand, if you look, if we take the multiplied of a 7, the name of the Almighty appears in Sefer Bereshit, how many times?
7.
35. 35 times. Again, multiplied of 7, 5 times 7, 35. The word Shamayim, that means heaven, and the word Eretz, that means earth, appear, Rabotai, 21 times. Again, multiplied over 3. 3 times 7, 21. Do you understand? There's more and more. We'll see that, please God, next week. I want to touch, if we take the 5 book of Moses, we'll see that the word Torah, if we count sequence, we'll see that again with multiplied, in a special order, in Sefer Bereshit and Sefer Shmot. Sefer Vaikra, it's different. Leave it for 1 second. Let's go back to Sefer Midbar and Dvarim. We'll see that in Sefer Bereshit and Sefer Shmot, in a sequence, we'll see suddenly the word Torah come. From the front to the end. Sefer Bamidbar and Dvarim, it will come backwards. The word Torah backwards. That means hey, Resh, Vav, Tav. You understand what I'm saying? Sefer Vayikra, we're going to see the name of the Almighty again appearing with sequence of 7, but the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, appearing again with a sequence of 7. Must be something with this number, not for nothing. We're just trying to prove that the number 7 is above what we have here, the physicality. It's speaking about a spiritual. That's number 7. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll do it, we'll continue next week, and then we'll do also about Shabbos.